kind of start this at the beginning of the 20th century. In 1905, after a couple of wars, one between Japan and China in 1895, and another one between Japan and Russia that concluded in 1905, Korea didn't have any allies, didn't have any protection from Japan. And so in November 1905, Japan forced a treaty on the Koreans that required them to give up their sovereignty. And this led to a lot of uprisings and stuff. And by 1910, after the Governor General was assassinated, the Japanese Governor General, then the Japanese formally annexed Korea, and for the next 35 years, from 1910 to 1945, this was a Japanese colony. The sovereignty of Korea, which you could say goes back to the time of Christ when you trace it back to the Three Kingdoms period, was all of a sudden gone. And over the next 35 years, the Japanese worked on making the Koreans into Japanese citizens and setting things up in Korea to facilitate the Japanese removing all the resources they needed from Korea to help with their plans of expansion around East Asia, as well as their preparations for war. The Koreans didn't go willingly, but lost a lot of people in the fighting, especially in the first 10 years or so. By the time World War II starts, the Japanese, and for the Japanese and the Chinese, World War II started in 1937. The Koreans and Korea starts being subjected more to Japanese power. The Koreans are not allowed to use their Korean names. They have to adopt Japanese names. In the schools, the language is Japanese. The students have to bow to the East, to the Emperor every day. And when the war itself starts, the Japanese start cutting down a lot of Korea's timber, their trees, take young men and they conscript them into the army. They take workers and they start moving them all around East Asia to work in Japanese mines and factories. And the young girls, I don't call them women because they were an age usually between 12 and 17. And there were a lot of these that were conscripted to serve as sex slaves for the Japanese frontline units. The Japanese had about 200,000 of these comfort women in their frontline brothels. About 80% were Korean. One of the things that hurt the Koreans was that they didn't gain their own freedom from Japan. It was granted to them because the Americans and the Soviets had defeated the Japanese. Two big causes, we believe, for the Japanese surrender on August 15, 1950. One was the dropping of the two atomic bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. The other was the Soviets attacking in through Manchuria. So Christianity really was all over North Korea, and you can see it in some of their propaganda and stuff. Kim Il-sung or Kim Jong-il, when it comes to their actual words, the print goes from black to red, just like in a Bible. Separate the Koreans, and which was intensified by the Cold War, which prevented the Soviets and the Americans from coming up with some kind of method for uniting Korea and making it an independent country again.
During the war, ROC and US forces gained this area. So now we are going to Cheoran History and Cultural Park. You can see the markup building in early 1900s, like old markup school, police station. Also, you can buy soft ice cream. Don't eat too much, you know. The first stop at the headquarters is down south, maybe around 30 kilometers from south. For the war, the Workers' Party in North Korea, there is only one party, no Democratic, no Republic, only Workers' Party. In that building, local building has a history. Like if anybody anti-North Korea, they captured them and torture. And very miserable things happened in the building. So you can see it.